Welcome to the Lauren Blackwell channel. Amber Heard is busy minding her business in Spain or Italy, wherever she is. And she's clearly trying to stay out of the blogs, at least out of US news for the foreseeable future. But it looks like Cara Delevigne has unintentionally dragged Amber Heard back into the spotlight. At the Louis Theroux podcast, Cara was asked about Amber. I don't think that Cara brought this particular topic up herself. I think the interviewer brought it up based on what I saw. Okay. So she was asked about her relationship with Amber Heard. And, around the time that they were filming and Amber Heard was still involved with Johnny Depp. They were still in a relationship. They hadn't broken up at the time. And Cara said that they were close. She and Amber were close for a long time. And then when Amber started to go through her divorce, that was when Cara and Amber became involved in an entanglement. And she kept saying the phrase, "I suppose," as if she wasn't sure, as if she wasn't there when it happened. I thought that was funny. But anyway, she said that she got entangled with Amber Heard around the time she was experiencing her divorce from Depp. But then Cara was like, but Amber was also entangled with other people around the same time as well. I don't know why she felt the need to include that last part, but I think it's a little bit of guilt. But before I get to that, let me just say this. A lot of people were in support of Amber and Cara with this relationship. They were acting as if it's no big deal, right? When you look at the comments that people are leaving, it's like, Amber was going through a difficult time, so she was friends with Cara, and it's normal that would happen. I mean, they're trying to normalize it. But here's the thing. This did not begin after Amber started to experience her difficult times with Johnny Depp or after their divorce or separation. That's not when this started. While they were filming London Fields, according to Cara, there was nothing between them. They were just friends. They were just close friends. But Johnny Depp was already very jealous of losing Amber. And based on what Cara said, she did not have a good relationship with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp did not like her because he believed that there was more to Cara and Amber's relationship than there was at the time. But Cara stressed that her romance between her and Amber started after Amber's relationship with Depp ended. So let's look at this from a different perspective, okay? A man and a woman are in a relationship. Let's say they're married. The woman notices that her husband is friends with another man, okay? And the husband swears that they're just normal friends, platonic friends. But then when the couple end their marriage, the husband begins a romantic relationship with the man that he said was just platonic friends with him. How believable would that be? How believable will it be that there was nothing going on? They weren't already headed in that romantic direction even before the relationship ended? Nobody would believe that. Everyone would say that the man cheated, that the cheating started long before his marriage ended, and that the woman found out and when his marriage ended, he decided to go and be official with his friend. That's what everyone would say. But in this case, everybody wants to turn a blind eye to the obvious fact that it is a very, very, very high probability that Cara and Amber were already somewhat romantically involved before Amber's marriage to Depp ended. It is just so a little too convenient, if you ask me, that the person that your husband suspected you of being in a romantic relationship with is who you ended up with after your marriage to him ended. Like, that's a coincidence. The friendship before and then the romance after the divorce have nothing to do with each other. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Maybe they didn't go all the way to romance, but it was already tiptoeing in that direction, if you know what I mean. Their friendship was already sashaying towards romance. That's what I think. So yeah, I don't know. I find this very difficult to believe. I don't know if Cara and Amber are still friends, but something about the way that she talked about this whole situation leads me to believe that they probably aren't friends anymore, or at least they no longer keep in touch. Because the way she kept telling the story, it's almost as if she herself felt guilty, or she felt uncomfortable telling it. Because first of all, why did you call it an entanglement? If it's an entanglement, then that means they weren't in a relationship. Like, Cara and Amber were not in a romantic ongoing relationship per se. Like, maybe there was romance between them, but it wasn't a relationship. You would not call someone that you've dated or someone you were in a committed relationship with your entanglement. That's not what an entanglement is. Now, I understand she did express some confusion on what the word entanglement meant, but the fact that she chose to use that word after it was explained to her, and she didn't just say Amber and I were in a relationship, she was going through a difficult time, etc., etc. That to me would have been a more respectful way of referring to what happened between herself and Amber. But when you refer to someone's interaction with you as an entanglement, I think it's kind of a demotion if they were in an actual committed relationship with you. Even if it's short-lived, if it was a committed relationship, you guys were in an actual full-blown relationship, you wouldn't call it an entanglement out of respect for the relationship. But she chose to call it an entanglement, and that to me is not very respectful to their relationship. Also, she kept saying, I suppose we had an entanglement, I suppose. And the interviewer was like, you suppose? And I was like, girl, were you there or were you not there when all of this took place? Because what do you mean you suppose? You should know exactly what happened in a relationship that you were in. It's like she's trying to tell the truth, but also remove herself from the situation, as if she's like this third party watching from the corner of the room. No, you were there. You don't suppose anything. You just say what happened. If you guys were in a relationship, say you were in a relationship. Do you guys know why I think she's having a difficult time just being straight up saying Amber and I were in a relationship without using entanglement and I suppose? I think the reason why I'm guessing, okay, I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing that the reason why she's having such a difficult time just coming out with this story and just spilling it is that she knows that the relationship may have been disloyal. Like, Amber may have been disloyal to Johnny when they had this entanglement of theirs. Like, there is something about this entanglement that she had with Amber that is making her uncomfortable. And I think that that is it. She knew that Amber was probably cheating on Johnny Depp with her. So she's having a difficult time coming to terms with it. But it wouldn't be a good look for her to say that Amber Heard cheated on Johnny Depp just as Johnny Depp suspected, and basically being forced to agree with Johnny Depp. It wouldn't be a good look. It also will not be a good look for her to be the one that Amber cheated with. Because, like I said earlier, I simply do not believe that a normal, regular, platonic friendship can simply switch and then become a romantic entanglement just because your friend is going through a divorce. I mean, we all have friends that have been through stuff and they go through things, and we don't automatically become their romantic partners. It's just not the way these things work. So I believe that just as Johnny Depp said, Amber Heard was cheating on him with Cara, and Cara does not want to admit it. That's why she was tap dancing around the subject using words like I suppose and entanglement, and she wouldn't just straight up say they were in a relationship afterwards. And it's like that spidey sense people get when they're in a relationship with someone, where your partner may have other friends, like a bunch of close friends, but there is this one particular friend that your spidey senses will keep telling you, okay, there's more to their friendship than what meets the eye. And I think that's what Johnny Depp was picking up. But you know, when it's a relationship between two girls like this, and then the other girl's partner, like Amber Heard's partner, is a guy, there's just something about that dynamic that make people less likely to take the guy's side, you know, especially because they were in a toxic relationship, and people don't want to choose sides with the person that they do not agree with, or with the demographic that's typically at fault in these kinds of situations. And because of that, they won't take their side even in areas where they appear to have been right. And I think that's what's happening here, where people are still they still want to believe that Johnny Depp was wrong in thinking that there was more to Cara and Amber's relationship. Like, clearly he was right. Have you guys noticed that over time, a lot of these so-called rumors and blind items turn out to be true? Like, I feel like more and more we're starting to see that a lot of the blind items are true. And Johnny Depp, I think he was right in thinking that Amber was cheating on him. As for Cara mentioning that Amber was in an entanglement with other people, I think that that clarifies that their relationship was not a committed relationship. I do think that they got closer after Amber's divorce because she was going through stuff. I do think that their relationship got closer and more romantic, but that does not mean it was not already headed in that direction prior to the divorce. There's got to be a reason why, of all of Amber's friends, Cara is the one that he was that jealous of Amber leaving him for, you know? I don't think it's baseless. And Cara saying that Amber was also seeing other people, that does not mitigate the fact that she was seeing Amber while Amber was still married. Like, it doesn't change the fact. So I'm not sure why she mentioned it. I think it's just, I don't know, maybe to lighten what she was saying, to say that, well, you know, it was an entanglement, it was nothing serious, she was seeing other people. I don't know, I'm not sure what the point of that was. I think actually I think it was to remove some of the focus from herself as the only perpetrator of Amber's cheating. Like, as the only person that Amber quote unquote cheated with. I think it's to say, I mean, there were all these other people, so I shouldn't take all of the blame, kind of a thing. I don't know. That's what I was getting from that, because why else would she say that? There's no reason for her to say that Amber was seeing other people. This is also why I don't think Cara and Amber have a positive friendship anymore, or at least not an ongoing friendship. Maybe it didn't end on bad terms. Maybe the friendship didn't even end. Maybe they just stopped communicating with one another. But I just don't think that if Cara and Amber were still good friends, that she would out Amber like that by saying that Amber was seeing other people while she was experiencing her divorce from Johnny Depp. I don't think she would have said that out loud, because now it makes Amber look like she's just out here just being disloyal in her marriage. And you know, you don't file for divorce today and it's finalized tomorrow. It's a whole process. Even before that, there's like the whole separation, the whole not getting along, you know, but the two are still married, you know. So now it makes Amber look like she was being very disloyal and just not taking her marriage to Depp seriously, basically. I also saw some people trying to make it seem as if Cara was trying to be messy for no reason. I didn't think so. I didn't get that from the interview. If anything, she was trying not to even talk too much about her relationship with Amber. So I don't think she was just giving stories to reclaim her relevancy the way people are insinuating. Also, I think that she looks really good. I'm surprised by how well she was able to overcome her issues that she was having with substances, and she appears to be really, really back to herself. And her hair was brunette. The thing about people going from constantly wearing their hair blonde, especially if they're Caucasian and female, if they always wear their hair blonde and then they begin to go for darker toned hair, whether it's temporarily or not, when they go darker, even if it's their natural hair color, during their healing process, there is something about that lets me think that this person is reaching a certain level of self-acceptance and maturity that they did not previously have. You know, it's not only non-Caucasians that feel pressured to look a certain way in order to be considered marketable or preferred, or, you know, etc. Caucasian women experience that too. So when I see someone on this healing journey and then they're suddenly not trying to maintain a certain look that is considered the most preferred anymore, to me, I feel like that person is reaching a level of healing that is just, you know, all about finding themselves and just in a good place. Basically, they're reaching a higher level of healing. Not to say there's anything wrong with people dyeing their hair blonde. She may dye her hair back blonde tomorrow. So the point is not the hair color. The point is, what are you comfortable with? How are you comfortable presenting yourself in a way that is different from what everyone says is most acceptable? If you are comfortable presenting yourself in that way and still confident in that you're still going to get opportunities, it's not going to hinder you, you're beautiful and talented enough and skilled enough that whatever they say will not hinder you, then I think that's a higher level of healing, you know. So I was glad to see that she was comfortably in her brunette hair, covered up. She wasn't revealing, trying to be sexy. She didn't like show a lot of skin. She was just, I don't know, she just looked refreshed and healthy to me. And yeah, so besides the Amber Heard and her relationship, which by the way, at the end of the day, this happened years ago. So even though she's talking about it now, it doesn't mean that she's still in that headspace. At the time when all of this happened, she was probably still under substances. She was probably just getting out of her long-term relationship. She was probably going through her own stuff. So I don't want to use the fact that she's talking about it today to portray her in like this whole negative way, because I doubt that she's in the same headspace that she was when all of that took place. I also think Amber Heard is trying to stay out of the spotlight, and this is not going to help the situation. But I think that Cara was careful enough in the way that she told the story to where it's not like super scandalous or anything. She did come across as trying to remove some blame from herself a little bit, but if you're uncomfortable with something you did in your past, then obviously you're not going to talk about it proudly. So I'm not surprised that she answered that question the way that she did. Overall, I think Cara appears to be doing well, and I'm glad she was able to beat her substance issues. That's all I have on Cara and Amber. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the things. Thank you guys for subscribing. There's quite a few people that are subscribing to my channel. Yeah, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.